Like Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. Yes. And that's who I am. Like that is the person who I identify with from The Tipping Point. Yeah. So it's like that's the thing. And there's different ways to do it. And it's like because of according to hip hop's following, in order to do it, I have to play the game a little bit, which means I am going to have to get some artists who have already been notarized as well. But the goal is to sprinkle the notarized people that I'm going to get in with some of these local people who you don't know yet, who you probably should know. And maybe through them, being on my show and me interviewing them, boom, boom, bam. You know what I'm saying? But it matters to me.
And that's what I'm trying to do with reactions and trying to do with other things like this on here too. I'm talking about stuff that is too, like the Nas's and the Grateful Dead, like the big artists. But I'm also trying to sprinkle in some stuff that's like local stuff and smaller time, like and that should be on that aren't necessarily on in the same way that they should be.
Yeah, I mean, you have to prove that this is no different than the music space in this regard. What we're doing, you have to prove that you have a viable product. Yep. Once you prove that you have a viable product, you do have to make hit records. In our case, it's not making the hit record; it's covering the people that have made the hit records. Yep. And after you've done that, then you can start doing your shit.
Yep. Yeah, and we're to the place now that we're making $10 a day or something like that. Not $10 a day, really. Like making a tiny bit of money anyway. We're at the very, 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 very beginning of that journey. That we can not pivot completely, but we can like start trying to pull some other threads in a little bit.
Yeah, we can talk about Phoebe's album. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about. Not being funny. It's like would have been real easy for us to pull up a Nas project because it's more what we're known for. We haven't done it yet because it's like, well, we already did. Yeah. Which kind of is what gave us the leeway to cover Killer Mike and Larry June. It's like, no, I want to cover all the bases. It's like I don't just want to cover the GOAT. I want to cover one of the guys that's popping out in the Bay Area. I want to cover the guy that's down here in Atlanta that made the best solo project of his career. And one of the best rap albums that's come out of Atlanta in a minute.
Yeah. We have to establish, you and I both together. You have more so done this on According to Hip Hop, but we have to establish, like in the wider audience or whatever, that we know what we're talking about. Like we have to establish our like bona fides, and like we have to establish that we have something to say, right? Like something that's and kind of because we definitely both of us have different perspectives on music than I think most music journalists do, and most people in this space talking about stuff. I think we look at things differently than a lot of them do because of our friendship, because of our relationship, and because of how much we've talked about stuff over the last 20 whatever years. But we still have to establish for like the wider audience that we know what we're talking about.
Well, also too,
by covering the greats, right? That's
yeah. Well, not being funny, Andrew, part of what makes us different from other music critics too is that we were actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like as artists, we were good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not being funny, most music critics weren't good or didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you'll even look in our space, it's like, well, the person that kind of runs the space on the hip hop side is Joe Budden. Oh no, Joe Budden was a dope ass rapper.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a reason that his shit is popping. Math Hoffa, the Barbershop. No, he was a great underground rapper. Like, so you can see, like, quite frankly, the people that usually do best in this space were probably good at it before because the perspective that they can offer is different.
Yeah. So, same reason that the people that we listen to, or the people I listen to anyway, when I listen to basketball podcasts, are All the Smoke and JJ Redick and Draymond Green. Like, all of them are people who both are or have played at a very, like, they're people that know what the fuck they're talking about, right?
JJ Redick was National Player of the Year at Duke. Yeah, JJ Redick was National Player of the Year at Duke. He had like a 15-year NBA career. Mm-hmm. Like, he knows more basketball than, I was about to insert the name of a young female commentator that runs a very popular show on ESPN that I'm not a fan of, but he knows more than her. You know what I mean? She's not good for my community either. But yeah, he knows more than her. When she speaks, it's like, man, I really wish she would just shut the fuck up and let the person who knows talks, and not like in a misogynistic or patriarchal type of way, but in the you don't know what the fuck you're talking about because you haven't done it type of way.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll tell you what, one of the most impressive things that I'm seeing from rappers lately is I can hear the guys who kept their voice and kept their breath control
Mhm.
because I know how hard it is to keep your voice and to keep your breath control because I did it. So it's like when I hear the way Nas is rapping on these records, I'm like, you understand this dude sounds like he's still 25 years old? He's
And
50?
I remember saying, I don't remember what like some verse that I heard earlier this year. I was like, wait, did he just do that? It was like 10 or 15 seconds worth of all
Yeah.
all breath.
Like,
I was
like,
that's
like,
that's not
like
hard to
Wayne.
do.
Wayne sounds like the way
Like,
he sounds in '07. Like Wayne right now sounds the way he sounded in '07, like vocally. It's
mhm.
like you can still do that, dude. You know, no. But I understand the degree of difficulty of it because it's like, oh no. I remember those days where I had to learn my breath control and I did like 70 takes for one verse because I couldn't get my breathing and my timing right. How to inflect my voice. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. So I don't have too much more, but in closing, it's like, yeah, if somebody told me, like, remember when you were like, Boy Genius is like the album of the year,
Mm.
but Phoebe's album is like right there. It's like that's kind of how I feel about Michael. It's like, oh no, if it's your album of the year, I'm not going to argue with you too much. I'll probably slide it comfortably at number 2 on my list.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel too. I'm gonna have to spend some time. Not that I don't like, so my opinion doesn't matter, but like I don't have the same context, obviously, to listen to that. That I have enough of it to have a solid opinion, but um, I do want to go back and listen to the two of them, Magic 3 and this one, like side by side too.
Here was my take from listening to them side by side.